apropos to what we're working on.
Yeah, that I will say. That's what I say. Hello, everybody. This is Elijah Keating from wisdomseekers.net, and today we're doing Ascending with Nicola. And we're going to talk about something.
To what we're working on.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it started a little faster than usual. What we're going to talk about today, and we're going to talk about the pain body, or pain, not just pain body, but pain. And if you have questions that are spiritual in nature, we will be more than happy to answer them. Okay, and if they're not, well, I'll just say thank you. No, we can't do that today. But hi, thank God somebody's on, because then I know whether or not we've got I can see it or not, because sometimes it won't let me see the questions and sometimes it will.
It's not questions.
Not an
Just your
interactive.
daughter.
Yeah. Okay, so you were the one that came up with the idea of the pain body, or the body of with pain. So that means you have some really good insight on there. What are you
Okay. Well, on Thursday night is when you asked me, and that's what came to me. So I had a feeling it was direct from my higher self to say, this is what we're going to talk about. And so a lot of things came to me, and in particular, this one particular story. But in my Thursday night session, I was working on a lady in the biofield, and she had a cold. And what I was getting was that we have energies in our biofields, or our fields, that is not always fun energies. So, and they can create into our bodies pain, and it's not just I know about Eckhart's teachings about the pain body,
right?
But it's the pain that basically of existence. So when we come into this life, almost the first thing we experience is pain, mostly emotional, but it also can be physical.
Well, coming through the birth canal.
Exactly. So we already have experienced some of the beauty and the love and the light and the awesomeness of this life, but also immediately the pain. And it seems to me, I've been listening to quite a few people in their life experiences, and pain is definitely a part of it. When a few years ago, when I was studying Native American spirituality, I listened to this elder from California who was giving a lecture to us. And he was saying, in life, you will be wounded. Heal from those wounds and wear your scars well. And that taught me quite a bit. And I was working with a lot of teenagers at that time, and through my church group. And that saying meant a lot to them, because they're coming into adulthood, and there is even more emotional pain during that time, because they see that their parents aren't always correct, that they don't have all the knowledge, that they are flawed. There's a lot of another kind of birthing from childhood to adult, which is another aspect of pain.
And they see things in black and white between the ages of like 17 to 21 generally, which makes life a little harder to deal with.
Well, from what I understand, from what psychology people say, is that the contrary 2-year-old throwing fits will be resurfacing as a teenager. that same kind of rebelliousness. And that is another step into life. And what in spiritual talks, I don't hear too many people talking about this. I hear it mostly in the psychology realm and in the Native American traditions, and also some of the ancient indigenous people when they talk about this painful part. In other words, for full spiritual and spiritual and physical maturity, we have to learn how to deal with pain. We cannot make it go away. That's why you have a lot of people addicted to something like a substance or like cigarettes or alcohol or any other thing to distract us from our pain.
I find that most people who overindulge are really powerful empaths.
Right. So, yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I want to talk about pain. Pain is part of life, and it's not something to be avoided or made to go away. It's made to bring us to a new level of maturity, spiritual, physical, emotional maturity. In a lot of spiritual teachings, they say everything is unicorns and rainbows and flowers. So
that is not the truth.
I've heard it, and it's called. I hadn't heard this coin term until recently, called spiritual bypassing. Just because you are enlightened, I've heard this so many times. You can be a really loving person and still have crap happen. It's going to happen no matter what. We cannot avoid it, but we have to learn who you are in this, how you can deal with it, what the gift is, and learn from it and go forward.
Well, the thing is, if our life is hunky-dory and butterflies and rainbows, there's no need to move forward.
Exactly. It is kind of, some people get the idea that suffering is a spiritual thing. It's not. So,
to get out of suffering, not avoid it, but to get out of suffering. That is
right. Don't stay there. You're going to suffer, but don't stay there. You know, it's like, oh, I stubbed my toe. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. And 20 minutes later, you didn't notice, right? Or you broke it and you have 6 weeks, but after 6 weeks, it's gone. So it's temporary. And the thing is, when we go into that avoidance, all it does is you just avoid it for a while, but it's still there. Still there. So
yesterday I was working with this woman. She says, "Oh, it hurts. Really, really hurts." I said, "Sit in it." And she looked really shocked, but she sat in it. And if you face it directly, the pain goes away quickly.
Right. Right.
And I interrupted you. Go ahead with your thought. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, please. Thank you. So when it gets really bad, okay, because sometimes it can be. And one of the ladies that I listened to her story and actually read her book was a lady who had recovered from cancer. But when she was before she was diagnosed, she was a runner and she ran many marathons and she took care of her body and she competed in a lot of things, and she was just following all the things for health, right? So by all
reasonable,
yes, by all reasonable people, you've taken care of your body, you must have done something wrong or whatever.
Yeah, so, that's a old belief that no longer serves us.
Right. So one of the people that because she had cancer and it was stage 4, who she was denying, saying, "Oh, I have a little sore throat, or I have a little fatigue. I don't know, I'll up with the supplements, I'll up with my exercises," and it still was getting worse and worse until so finally she just passed out and taken to the hospital, and she found out she had throat cancer. Well, at that point, it was stage 4, and so she didn't have any choice. If she wanted to live, she had to go through the allopathic medicine route. But at the same time, she went out of her way and found shamans and healers and people who have been on the healing
That
path for a
will
long
help
time.
you clear the energies, the
Right,
negative energies.
exactly. So they help with that. And one of the things that they told her was to ask her body what's going on. And she kept doing this over and over again until she finally heard. She said to her body, "I love you. Why are you acting like that?" And the body said, "Well, it sure doesn't feel like love in here."
Mm.
So she learned that all the things that she was doing was not out of love, but out of fear.
And that's the trick, right? It's the fear. Fear is such a great stop.
Yeah. So, wow, we have a lot of messages about love and fear over and over and over again. Yet it just comes in this side of my head and going out that side. What does that mean? And
And fear, cancer is generally suppressed anger, right? And anger is fear.
right. Well, yeah. So yes, and there's many different levels of fear and many different levels of anger, and it's over and over. You think with like, wow, I thought I had healed that, right? I've gone through this.
Then it goes deeper and deeper. I know, it's like onion layers.
Oh my goodness, that poor onion. Oh,
And that onion always makes you cry, right? So I have to tell you this, that we've got a few people are commenting, and Lily Guild says, if life was always positive, we would take it for granted and never learn and grow. Pain makes us stronger and wiser. And Bree says, wow, that's powerful. Powerful information that you're talking about.
Right. And so let's say you have a diagnosis, and you're afraid, and oh my God, what do I do? And you're all this shaking in fear and stuff like that. Well, that's when a lot of times the support system comes in. Like this lady that I was telling you about was using every support she could. She couldn't just do it on her own. And that's what I want to make sure everyone gets, that we are here for each other.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things we cannot do on our own.
Right. And the other thing is that we can't expect another person to do our own work.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's not going to happen. We can, the people like who have different modalities, we can assist. We can be powerful assistants. But in the end, you're the one that has to make the choice.
Right. So everything that is there for our healing, everything that is there for our ascension, which means lighten up, folks. It's becoming lighter. All that needs to be said has been said. All that needs to be written has been written. You can find answers everywhere, but you need to bring it in and embody it and own it.
And I know this story. It's not my story, and it's third hand. But this woman, she got cancer, and she got cancer after a divorce. And after her divorce, she had put all the paraphernalia and all the mementos from her divorce in her attic. And she didn't let go of it. And she got brain cancer. And she knew this she knew these ideas, but she didn't let go of it. So metaphorically, her brain cancer was because of all the stuff that she put in her own house attic, and she wouldn't let go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's sad because it's a simple fix. It's a hard fix, pardon me, but it's a simple answer.
It's simple, but not easy, right?
Yeah.
And if you have, or anyone that's on this call has pain, you can get it intuitively exactly what the cause is and what the gift is. For me, and I want to express that I have created a very uncomfortable situation for myself, having a detoxing reaction to something very good that I had eaten or had worked with some supplements that had high concentrations of vitamins and minerals and botanicals and everything else. And a few days after I started to take them, I started getting eruptions all over my skin. And so it unnerved me, to say the least, but I'm learning from it. And one of the things is it's guidance. And it's also about whatever I do to heal this is going to be a gift not only for me, but for others. Like that lady I was talking about having cancer and then recovering from it she's a more grounded, more loving, more amazing person. She's a spiritual teacher. She's really changed her life. So those stories help others saying, what can I do to heal myself from this?
I have a question before you go on because it's perfect. Bree, she says, do you perhaps have any advice on thoughts about letting go? Advice on our thoughts about how to let go.
Oh,
That's kind of individual and kind of everybody can do the same thing answer.
Wow, there's so many exercises for that and everything. So I can just tell you some of the experiences that I've had is that I've done burning bowl ceremonies. I write these down, put them into a bowl that is fireproof and burned up those things or put them in the fireplace. Sometimes I bury them in the backyard. So, but I find that the burning helps. But then just letting go and just, even asking for angelic help to let go of things. And sometimes I just sit down.
Don't take advantage of asking the universe for help enough.
Yes, and our higher self, and just sit with it and just say, I have this feeling that I can't forgive my ex for all his crap that he did. That's holding on. And if you say, I need to be at least willing to let go of that. And it's not for whatever somebody did to harm you. It is to break yourself free from that hurt or that trauma or whatever. And I do recommend compassion for yourself, whatever that looks like. And if you feel like you can have compassion for an animal or a little pet or something, take that feeling and put it onto yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I have compassion for me. And that a lot of times helps us to let go of whatever has taken place that is very, very traumatic to just upsetting or being angry with it or whatever it is. And a lot of these things, what I heard a long time ago about forgiveness is that forgiveness means to give love for yourself.
I like that.
Giving love for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not forgiving the action. And 9 times out of 10, once you do that, you can become the observer of yourself. And when you do, you can see the perfection in that. because you are now becoming stronger in who you are, and that you can move on.
Yeah.
And one of the exercises I did with the teens is we all got rocks and put them into a backpack and put the backpack on our bodies. And we walked around and saying, God, I forgive so-and-so, and put that rock down. And then go a little further. If they God, I forgive this, and put that back. I forgive myself for not being the mother that I thought I was going to be.
Yeah.
Or I forgive myself for all the crazy stuff that I've done when I was 13, 14, 15 years old. And you just have to just constantly keep doing that. And to me, forgiving yourself is probably the most wonderful thing you can do for yourself.
It is. And that will shoot you out of hang on, it's not working. It will shoot you out into spirituality so much faster. It's like a bow being shot out of an arrow being shot out of a bow, right? Forgiving yourself because you let go of that stuff that holds you anchored and in guilt.
Yeah, guilt and shame, and let's say you had a bad marriage and you were being banged around and stuff like that. It takes a lot of courage to move out of that situation. And then when you finally do, sometimes you hang on to, well, I could have done this, or why did I wait so long, or that sort of thing. You just need to stop, forgive yourself. And there is no time in spirit, so you just need to go right there, right then.
Sometimes it's subconscious and it takes a while. So if you don't do it immediately, allow yourself to forgive yourself over and over again until you got it. Because I know I was in the marriage I was in. I harbored a lot of anger, and it took me years to let go of it. And I worked on it consciously to let go of it for years, and it still took me years.
Right.
But I did it.
Yeah, so important. And even sometimes you don't even know you're angry because you're not feeling anything, you're just numb. It's going to take a while for it to surface again.
Mm-hmm.
And it might come out as a rash like mine. So I don't know. It could be that.
Yeah, it could be.
Because it's very angry and very red. So this could be releasing some old hurts. I don't even know what they are yet, but.
And then some, and I work with people a lot on releasing, and lately, and a lot of them go actually off world to other lifetimes, not of this world.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily now that you're releasing now we are releasing so deeply that what you're releasing could have been 10 centuries old.
Yes. And I also, yes, that's absolutely true. I heard something today about spiritual maturity that I think was really cool, and I'd like to share that with you. And a kindergartner can feel very happy with life, but he has no clue what's going on. So as a spiritual adult, we have to think about and be aware of all the energies that are not so loving and not so great to have around. And so that's one reason we're experiencing these things, is to become even more a spiritual adult and even more enlightened and even lighter in our bodies, mind, and spirit. Because we are transitioning from the old ways of thinking and doing in the third dimension. We're going through the fourth and going into the fifth. And in doing so, we are ascending, as we say, that's the becoming lighter. And you cannot hold on to old ways of dieting, old ways of looking at life. You cannot think about yourself as, well, I'm not perfect, therefore I can't do such and such. Well, the truth is,
that's a big one, actually. It's a huge one.
I know, because I'm experiencing it myself. That I said, well, when I get this done, and this will happen, and then I'll have more money, or I'll have the relationship I want, or I have this. No, it's not like that. We're flawed. So just give it up. It's not fifth dimensional thinking. Just move into the next place where you know you need to be, that lights you up, that turns your heart big, that makes your light brighter, that makes you have fun. Everything that you do and everything that you say, I would ask yourself, is this fun? No. Okay, well, how can I make it fun? What can I contribute? What does my body want me to do? What would be fun for my body to do? To eat, to move about. What would be fun? And even when that happens, our little mind, the little parts of us want to come in. Well, you can't do that. Well, that's not right. That's not you. That kind of stuff. So we have to let that go and keep asking ourselves, our body, to become aligned with source, meaning I'm now aligned with my higher self. My higher self is now guiding me. And then ask the question, what would be the most joyful thing for me right now to do?
And it might be small.
Exactly.
It might be something like go sit outside in the sun, or breathe the fresh air. It doesn't matter as long as you allow yourself to allow yourself. And that's a funny sound, but it's true. I want to read this because it really fits with what you're talking about. It's Lily Guild. I just got out of an abusive relationship. He threatened to kill me if I left, and said that he'd kill any man I get with. He was biting me in my sleep, and after I left, he was spiritually attacking me. She said, I got a dream catcher. I'm still trying to let go, but I am numb. She was saying I was having very bad dreams about him. And that's a combination of fear and anger and probably karmic energy, right?
Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about that. First of all, I recommend to her to get professional help for sure. Yes, because we need support. We need to process these things. This is a big change, that she's out of that relationship and she's in fear of her life. She can't go to a high spiritual level right now. She needs to feel safe first. So find a way to make yourself feel safe, and make sure that you have the professionals around you supporting you, making sure that you're safe. That's their number one priority, because when you're in survival mode, it's not the time to go to fifth dimension, because that's survival mode.
It could be too, she could, one of the things that, basic right away, go to the police, get you can't come within 300 meters of me kind of.
Right, absolutely. That's exactly what she needs to feel. She needs to get that around her, that support system, to support her in her life choices, whatever they are.
Yeah.
And to feel safe. It's so important. And then you can call on the Holy Spirit and call on those angels to come and support you and be with you and protect you, because they will. I've seen this happen.
You're right, they will. The problem I find is people have to trust themselves enough that this will happen.
Exactly. That's why I'm recommending the other thing
first. Yeah.
But at the same time, you can get your angels in there, whether you trust them or not. And you can have people pray for you and get a support group. And they can pray for those angels to be there too.
So praying is powerful. She says, he was a karmic. I'm on the twin flame journey. He also tried to kill my twin flame. That's why the arson happened. They both got arrested. He told me what he did. I think there's a lot more to this story than.
Okay. Well, she volunteered for a lot of stuff. So
no kidding. That's a huge, and I agree with you. That's a huge volunteer.
Well, for another thing is that when she gets to the other side of this, she's going to have some very powerful messages to us.
Yeah.
So
He's probably going to end up being a teacher or something.
exactly, because that's what a lot of us being when coming out. I want to help humanity do this and such. Well, you have to go through it yourself.
Yeah, and oh my God, do people ever go through it themselves?
Yes, yes.
They go, oh wow. Some of the things I've talked to people about, I'm going, how did you survive and become such a nice human being?
Well, I've actually known people who had near-death experiences through those kinds of experiences where they're beaten and stuff. Um, they're sent back and you haven't completed your mission. But they do experience the love and the acceptance on the other side. So that shows you that we are made of that. We are made of love. We are made of incredible power.
Mhm.
And so to realize that, to embody that, but at the same time, after we go through it, you say, okay, I've now come to the other side. I now know exactly how to get to the other side of this and how to thrive.
And just knowing that you can do it.
Oh, absolutely.
It gives you, so I know a few people recently who had a Kundalini rising experience, then it's gone down and they think I've lost it. Well, it's not that you've lost it, it's that you've gone back to build the blocks so you can build up to doing it without going insane.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty much it for what I wanted to say tonight about pain. That it is part of life. It's not something to make go away. It's something to learn, and so you can process it out without. You can't escape it. So we have to kind of say, okay, what is it? What is it trying to teach me? What the gift is, and let it go and say thank you and love it free. And Patricia Cotto-Robles talks a lot about loving it free, and then Saint Germain of the violet flame, transform it into the light, invoking the law of one, sent to the highest light of God, whatever it is. So it's joy to all and harm to none, invoking the power of one. So
That's it. That's the secret. And you do no harm. And you do
do no harm.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of these satanic and Luciferian energies that are running amok right now because there are so many people turning on their light. They know that the gig is up.
No kidding. Yeah.
But you're going to see some of this, especially in the United States, going running amok. So I just keep praying for the love and the light to come in. And
Spirit and I were talking about that today. That it feels like people are descending, and in actual fact, I don't think they're moving. I think we're ascending, but it appears
looks like that.
yeah.
It does. And just know that even like I heard about some people exclaiming that this group of people who were causing a lot of pain and threatening others and stuff were killed, and they went on. And there's this question is that where do they go in spirit? Well, they go where their level of consciousness is at the moment of death.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they go to whatever's familiar with them.
Yeah, and
So
my understanding is it's concentric rings, right?
yeah,
The majority of people go to the center and they remember and go, okay, I really messed up here. Well, I could fix that in this lifetime. And some people are so like I say, I'm a medium, and there's times I'm with people when they're dying, and they've been told all their life they're bad, and they're not bad people. They're just normal people, but they think because they had these bad thoughts then, or they flirted with that guy then, they're going to hell, and they're so afraid to die, and they fight it like crazy. And those people will end out in the outer realms until they allow themselves to see the truth, and then they come back in.
yeah.
It's but there are for the more important thing, though, there are a lot of people on the other side who go and help people die so they don't go die in fear. My mother did that, actually. That's why I know.
I did hear this very interesting thing, and I really love it. That there was this one person who passed that did not believe in God and actually hated any kind of things about it or whatever, and went to this place of despair. I mean, it was nothing else but incredible despair. And after he experienced that for a while, he said, well, if there is a God, show yourself. And this angel came to him and pulled him out. But the angel was like such a high frequency, like super, 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 super high frequency, because they're the only ones that can come down that far without being scathed by that.
Mm-hmm. Which is
So
that's a huge thing, right?
yeah.
We
So
don't realize how
and it is about love and beauty and things like that. So if you see you see creation as beautiful, and you're part of creation, you're beautiful. We're all beautiful. We're all amazing.
mm-hmm.
Please, if you can't have anything else that you take with today, know that you are beautiful, and you're amazing, and you're loved.
I want you to do something. I want you to tell people about your biofield so they know that that is something that can help them do exactly going through
Yes,
the pain and into the
yes,
allowing. I think it's more of allowing, right?
right. And it's interesting because I've come to the conclusion that allowing and surrender are very close.
Mm.
Um,
I don't think we
and
want to surrender so much as we want to become one with.
exactly. So what it means is that we have this idea that we're in control. We're not,
That's why we want to become one with the universe, so we agree. We don't fight everything.
Exactly, So, and it doesn't mean that everything is hunky dory or you don't have any responsibilities or anything like that. But I want to say that the biofield, what attracted me to it so very, very much was that it was above and beyond Reiki and above and beyond a lot of these other technologies that you hear about healing, because I don't channel it. That is just so amazing because it doesn't come through me. It comes down to me as I do others. And when it comes down to another person, it comes down through their higher self. There is nothing that is harmful, nothing that is too intense. When I first started learning energy healing, I was doing sort of an intensified Reiki. And this one lady got so much energy from it, she couldn't sleep that night. So I learned to modulate it and whatever. So when I went into the to the biofield, it took all of those energies, and the only energies that would come through would be the ones for those appropriate for those individuals. Not my agenda, not Reiki. It's in and of itself, although Reiki is part of it. Joy love is part of it. Unconditional love is part of it. It's like all of these technologies are all incorporated. And I haven't learned enough about theta healing, but it's very close to theta healing as well. It's about the field, and there's so many amazing healers walking this planet that know about the field. The field is what we're in and part of, regardless. And other people's energies influence us, regardless. It's just going to happen. And so, what this does is it takes the highest frequencies that are most appropriate for the individual or group of individuals that I'm working with. And the higher selves of each one of them will sometimes, even with my intention, before I do anything at all, they start running it. So And
I've heard a few people say I felt it before a day before.
exactly. So this starts working because I set the attention that tomorrow I'm going to do such and such, and then for sure the energy start running like right then on my attention to do it tomorrow. And it is because we are living in a benevolent universe, and everything is for the highest and best for everybody. And so that's what those energies are. And if you're hanging on to anything at all, that you're at that point ready to let go of.
Mhm.
Because some things are very buried and they're going to take time. But if you're ready to let it go, instantaneous healing can take place.
Yeah. And then sometimes, like you say, it's like your energy gets underneath and sort of pushes it up.
It does.
Okay.
It's the energy of creator.
Yeah.
The unmanifest. Some people call it the void, but really it's not void. It's not nothing. It is the unmanifest. And Judge Spencer calls it the wave. So the wave becomes the particle. The wave comes in, and so a lot of people feel this kind of waving when I'm doing this. It's just the field, and you can create from that into a physical thing. And if it's an emotional pain that you're in, it can lift that a lot easier than a physical pain. But a physical thing will occur if you're ready to let it go and you've got the teaching. Otherwise, it's going to stay until you get it. But other things will happen that will assist you in getting it. That's what's really cool about that.
It's the love energy, right?
Exactly.
And like you said earlier, the universe is love. And that's what it really is. We're the ones that go, no, I'm not good enough. Or I hurt so bad, I can't do that. But if we allow it to happen, it's maybe not instantaneous, but it can be instantaneous.
I really like my rash to go away. I mean,
Yeah.
that's my preference, but
It will be. It will. We know it's going.
right. Well, I did what do you call those things? It's an intuitive thing. It's a where it's a little bit of self kinesiology,
Mm-hmm.
and I had in 5 days it'll be gone.
Okay, and you can also do. You can also use. If you can't do kinesiology, you can use your pendulum.
No, I'm not so good at that.
Yeah, some people aren't. Some people are. But if you don't, and kinesiology, it's very simple. It's yes, no, right?
Yes, but that I don't know. My subconscious is very clever, so
Yeah.
it's the actual movement forward and movement backwards.
Okay.
Really,
That how you do that is you stand with your feet shoulder width apart,
yes,
and ask a question. Your body will move forward.
yes,
That's yes, and your body will fall back. That's a no. But
right.
if you're lazy and don't want to stand up, you can do that.
Actually, when I'm
A lot of people do the hands too, right?
when I'm in a grocery store and I pull something off the shelf, I hold it to my heart and say, "Is this good for me?" And then if I get even the slightest movement forward, it doesn't look like I'm,
Yeah.
weird in the grocery stores. But sometimes I can't find organic, and I'll say, "Will this harm for me?" And then it goes back. "Will this be good for me?" And then sometimes it's kind of stand still with, "Well, it's neutral." Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I sit there and I can't see very well. I'm very nearsighted, and I'll sit there and I'm reading the ingredients, and they're like this far away from me. So you just do what you got to do.
Exactly.
And so we have a lady come in from South Africa, Joanne Stanley. That's pretty cool.
Well, cool. Thank you for being here.
And there's one other thing too. One before I let you go, people are afraid of pain, and so
Yes.
and you mentioned this earlier. So one of the tricks you can do, and it is a trick, but it works, is when you feel the pain. And what I do, and I have used this for years, is I'll lay down on, I'll go on my bed, I pull my knees up, put my arms around, so I form an egg and I'm small, and I'll sit in the pain. And if it were, and the pain can be so intense, you can't breathe. Every nerve in your body screams at you. Within 30 seconds, it should be over and gone. And when you pull yourself out and look back, that pain will never have the same amount of power that you had before. And then it's manageable to find a way to release it and to deal with it. But that initial, I can't deal with it. If you 30 seconds, if you can deal with it for 30 seconds, then you've got it. I told a young man about that, and he was from India, and he's going around for the next 2 days doing this trick, and he says, everybody should know this. Everybody should know this.
Well, thank you. I think a lot of people now know that, so I'll try myself.
It is. It's because we're trained as a society to avoid it that we don't look at it. So that 30 seconds, and it can be very intense.
Well, yeah, it's a total acceptance and surrender.
Mm-hmm. So the trick is not to think about it.
Yeah. So Louise Hay calls it sensation. If she doesn't call it pain, she calls it, when I just slammed the door on my foot, I'm having a lot of sensation.
Instead of being afraid, you're excited.
So,
yeah.
Wow.
This has been a really amazing talk. Thank you very much. And the people who've talked, I think you've got most of the gist of it. Mm-hmm. They're very appreciative. And so am I.
Oh, so am I. So I'll send a short bio field after we go off to everybody on the call and everybody who looks at it in the future.
Okay, that works very beautifully. It does. We have a lot of Nicola's work on our Facebook, Wisdom Seekers Facebook. You want some powerful energy, just put it on and watch her all the way through, and it's amazing. I swear, every time she does a biofield, it becomes more powerful. So I highly recommend that you look into Nicola, and she is what she presents to you. She's genuinely what you see on here. Okay, so with that, let's call it a day, and thank you again so much. It's been wonderful.
Thank you.
Namaste, namasko, and thank you everybody in the past and the future for watching, and please share and send us your love through.
Yeah, like the video.
Like the video, share and like the video. It's so appreciated. Joanne says thank you and have a blessed, lovely to connect again. It is. It's lovely to have people. I love having people from all over the world.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. I will talk forever, so let's go.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye-bye, everybody.